Welcome back to Instables, everyone. So I'm going to go over with you guys on the S&P 500 so you guys can see exactly where we may be headed next. Now, we have breaking news that Russia and Ukraine gives brightest assessment yet of progress in talks of war. As you guys can see here, this morning, Reuters reporting that Russia and Ukraine officials have their most upbeat assessment on Sunday of progress in their talks of the war in Ukraine, suggesting there could be positive results within days that could give us a major spike in the market. So we will keep this in mind this week and what kind of anticipation momentum we have in the market. Again, we have not seen developments this strong since Russia did attack Ukraine. So we're going to keep an eye on this news because if we do get a de-escalation, then we could have a major spike in the market. Now, before I jump into this, I do want to mention if you are looking for intraday perspective breakouts, meaning breakouts within the same day, go to instables.com in the description below, and you will never miss breakout alert today again. So jumping right into the daily chart with you guys here on the S&P 500. Again, this is the SPY. We ended the day with a large doji candle on Friday, showing us that very strong indecisiveness, showing us that we could have a major move up or a major move down. And one thing I also want to mention, again, we do have an FOMC meeting on Wednesday. We will be leading into a rate hike that very much is anticipated to be a 0.25 point base rate hike. So if we do have momentum to the downside leading into that meeting, then we could be testing our 415 level. And again, if we do hold our 415 and 410 level after that meeting, after our rate hike, and we hold these levels that we had in fears when Russia initially attacked Ukraine, then in my opinion, we could have a bounce back. And again, this will also be predicated on if Russia and Ukraine were to make a deal before this FOMC meeting. Again, they did mention within days to come that we could have a deal that's made within the days to come. So we're going to keep an eye on that news and also keep an eye on what kind of momentum and which levels we do hold leading into this FOMC meeting. So we have our two levels that we have been talking about. We have a 427 level that we do need to make sure we can hold going into this week, especially after a strong doji candle and a red doji candle with some sell volume coming in. Want to see if we can get that increase in buy volume. As you guys can see, we are decreasing in sell pressure, showing us that indecisiveness. We can very much get that increase in buy pressure and get that major spike and major bounce here, but we also could have that major continuation to the downside if we get an increase in sell pressure from this decrease in sell pressure that we've been getting, and we have a large increase in sell pressure that will give us that strong move to the downside. And we will be looking at that 410 level to have that major move to the downside. And we will be testing our $400 psychological resistance at that point in time. So again, we have a $400 psychological resistance that we will test if we drop down below our 410 level, again, when Russia initially attacked Ukraine. Or we have our 427 level that we do want to see if we can bounce back over, hold above, and possibly continue on past our 435 level. And that strong move to the upside, just like we have our 410 level with that strong move to the downside, is at 447.50. If we can jump back over our 447.50 level, then you will see almost every single YouTuber changing their whole analysis on whether they think it's a bear market or a bull market. Again, in my opinion, from an intraday perspective, I really don't mind if it goes either way because intraday is within the same day and we have our breakouts in the Instables room, so I'm not worried about that. But as far as swings and longs, we do want to see if we can get back over 447.50. And in my opinion, that very much would be not only getting past Wednesday's FOMC rate hike, but also what the Feds have to say and where exactly our anticipation leading into the rest of the year would look like. So watching this FOMC meeting on Wednesday is going to be extremely key. So we will get a lot of volatility. We could come back down, test our 415 level if we, for some reason, get news on Russia again mentioning that they're going to get their job done and they're going to continue to do what they're going to be doing. Then that could give us that momentum to the downside and possibly test 410 leading to this FOMC meeting. And this FOMC meeting could very much give us that spike and that continuation up to 427. And then we could be looking to see if we can hold 427 at that level if, again, we do get negative news with Russia talking to Ukraine and then we get a positive FOMC meeting, then we could, again, be testing this 427 level. Or we could get good news with Russia and Ukraine talking this week before our FOMC meeting, which could give us a spike to the upside, testing our 435 level, and then looking to see if we can jump back over our 447.50 level if we do get a positive FOMC meeting. So we have a lot to watch out for this week. We're going to have a lot of volatility. You could see major spikes to the upside, major spikes to the downside, as we have been getting multiple doji candles, looking to see if we are going to have that indecisiveness either to the upside or to the downside. We do have, again, Russia FOMC meetings and what the Feds have to say this week on Wednesday. That is what we'll be looking out for this week. And again, we are going to be looking to see if we can jump back over our 20, possibly start to respect our 20-moving average so that way we could have that momentum to the upside and very much could create our invert head and shoulder that we have been talking about, even possibly have a pullback from our FOMC meeting after we have positive news with Russia and Ukraine, and then possibly jump back over our 435 level and then giving us that strong push because, again, we don't have a 50-point base rate hike. That very much could give us that spike to the upside. And again, our break here at 447.50 would be that stronger move to the upside. So watching out for all this news throughout this week. Now, again, with that said, if you are looking for intraday perspective breakouts, meaning breakouts within the same day, go to instables.com in the description below, and only for $15 a month, you guys will never miss a breakout alert today again. And all of you instables that have been coming over and supporting the channel, over 500 members, we will continue to stay strong no matter how bad the market does get. We will have our intraday perspective breakouts. I know swings and longs may be very choppy, but we do have better news with Russia and Ukraine this week. We'll take one day at a time and continue to let the plays come to us every single day. And again, if you guys do like this video, it does help other people find it, and it does help the channel grow. And I do appreciate it very much. And again, God bless you all, and I'll see you guys in pre-market.